Hello, everybody. It is Friday, the 3rd of November, 2023. Remember that I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, so yeah, psychic. So everything is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, form your own opinions. What I just do is I go through the headlines and I make note of my psychic impression on what's going on in the world, what I scoped out today, this morning. So I've got quite a few pages of notes, so let's just get going. Okay, something that I saw that I'm questioning because now it's coming out that these windmills, the big turbines that are supposed to be wind energy and save us from all sorts of crazy stuff. Well, excuse me. It's now coming out in the public domain that these giant windmills are actually hazardous to all sorts of animals like birds, and then they have the wind turbines and like the North Sea, and they're causing damage to injury to whales. Yeah, you know the guys that Jonah and the whale? Go back, read that Bible story. Uh, so I'm asking, where are the PETA people? You know, the people for the ethical treatment of animals? Why aren't they out protesting to ban the wind turbines? But then we'd have to use fossil fuels, so then we've got these just no oil idiots out there. So, you know what? Let's put the PETA people and the just no oil idiots like into a cage. And you know they have that MMA cage fights. So in order to figure out what kind of energy source we should use, let's let PETA and the just no oil fools stick them one-on-one in like these mixed martial art battles and see which team comes out on top. If it's PETA, then those just no oil idiots need to fade off into the background. That's my big question. Where's PETA? Why aren't they going after these just no oil idiots? Because just no oil wants wind power, but they have no care about what animals are destroyed. So, yeah, that's something hey, Greta Thunberg, aren't you for saving animals? Yeah, Greta, I guess you want to see the destruction of whales and all sorts of birds. And speaking of birds, oh my gosh. Okay, everybody knows the Ornithological Society is called the Audubon Society. Well, now, the stupid butt, burn, loot, murder crew, everybody who doesn't want anything to do with the Confederate States, is now the Audubon Society is no more. They have to change their name because I guess the person it was named after and all these other birds that were named during the 1800s, if any name has a connection to somebody who lived south of the Mason-Dixon line between like 1860 and 1870, well, those names are now considered racist. I mean, we've lost the name of a rice, pancake syrup. They're tearing down statues of historical figures and melting them down. They're destroying artwork, all because their feelings are hurt. All these little wokey, snotty ass brats that are now, they are supporting Hamas. Well, all these little stupid trans Watsons and these stupid girls, the trans idiots, they're they're going to have to learn to play Superman because they're going to fly off the top of a tall building. And all those little girls are going to have to be covered from head to toe in black, be married off to some dude, and basically be forced to have a kid every year. I mean, as soon as they recover from the childbirth, 6 weeks after they deliver one kid, they're going to start getting inseminated to drop another one. So basically, they're going to be made to be barefoot and pregnant for the rest of their lives until menopause kicks in. So, little girls, think twice about who you're supporting. Especially now, it's like everybody, the EU is having kitten fits because Austria is now using the Rwandan style protocol of getting rid of the immigrants. I guess they come in and then pack them off to another country. Yeah, that's and then they're having kitten fits because Orban is really strict about who's going to come into Hungary. Well, dudes, what is it? Hungary borders like seven countries? So because Orban is being super tight about who can come into Hungary, they're protecting the other countries from the scumbags. Yes. A lot of these alleged refugees, I keep getting, they're nothing but sleeper cells. So Viktor Orban and how he is running Hungary is their first line of defense. Yeah, keep letting in these stupid refugees, and you're going to be fighting on your home turf. Like we will have incidents here in the United States because of how Cammy Poop has basically, she has basically allowed we don't have a southern border. Nothing at all. We don't have a southern border. And what's going on is, yeah, we're dealing with an invasion, okay? Yeah. Cammy Poop, basically, she was supposed to be the border czar. Totally dropped the ball. She did nothing. How much actual physical time did she spend down on the border? Next to nothing. Well, now she's decided, or Barry has decided, that Cammy Poop is now in charge of a government entity to eliminate Islamic phobia from the United States. Yes. So basically, the donkeys will be endorsing anti-Semitic behavior. So, again, like I've been saying, American Jews, you gotta wake up. Barry is running the country. Barry follows Louis Farrakhan and the Muslim Brotherhood, the Black Muslim Brotherhood. Yes, start looking up and seeing what Farrakhan preaches. Death, not only death to Jews, but everybody who has a complexion lighter than a brown paper bag. So yes, because Cammy is mixed race, just like Barry is, he put Cammy Poop in charge of getting rid of Islamic phobia. And by doing so, the Democratic Party, the donkeys, have now turned their back on anybody who follows the Old Testament. And they're trying to repeat what they're doing a repeat of the FDR admin. I mean, yeah, the FDR administration for that basically 12 years during World War II. Oh yeah, they put out this stuff about the four fears. I mean, for the four freedoms. And yeah, the four freedoms are, okay, where did I write it down? Yeah, it's, the four freedoms are freedom of want, fear, worship, and speech. Basically, Barry is doing away with that. He is eliminating the one positive thing that FDR talked about. So we need to have everybody who follows the Old Testament leave the DNC. And I'm wondering, it's like here in Illinois, up in the northern suburbs north of the city, we've got this clown, Jan Schakowsky. Why isn't she saying anything? She's kind of like just drifted into the background. All we're hearing from is Dickwad Durbin and Cammy Poop. I mean, and Tammy Duckworth List. Both of them. I mean, especially all you veterans out there, you gotta start bombarding Duckworth List, because she and Dickwad Durbin are supporting Barry's pro-Hamas opinion. Yes. Tammy Duckworth, who basically was elected Illinois state senator because she's a wounded veteran who lost her legs. Tammy Duckworth is supporting Hamas. Tammy Duckworth is supporting the decimation. We're the 21st century now. 21st century annihilation of anybody who follows the Old Testament. That's what our state senators here in Illinois want to see. And plus that stupid idiot from Maine. You always see her dressed in blue. Here, Marjorie Taylor Greene is actually fighting and put this amendment in that would end the destruction of any pieces of art, like statues, that are on public property. But that stupid postmenopausal idiot from Maine who always dresses in blue is like going off, no, 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 you can't do that. We want this. We want money to go to Palestine and Ukraine. No, you can't put in something that stops us from tearing down what offends our little constituents. People in Maine, the state of Maine, you better wake up. Because you see, there's a lot of refugees. They're afraid of ships that going up to Nova Scotia. They're dumping these people off with their tender boats, their lifeboats. They're cutting through Canada, coming in through the western border of Maine, into the state of Maine, and walking up on the beaches, just like they're doing down in Florida. So the state of Maine has got to kick out that stupid piece of excrement, okay? Now, speaking of the New England area, this one I am laughing my butt off at. Okay. I was a teenager, young adult, during the 70s and 80s. I wasn't in high school yet. I was in middle school, junior high. And, yeah, it was one of the weeks that I had to stay with my mom for the weekend. And she had told my dad I wasn't going to be flying out because I guess my aunt, one of her sons married the sister of a guy who was in one of the big touring rock bands that's still in business today. Well, yeah, my aunt gave these tickets to my mom and my other aunt who lived here. And she said, "No, we have to go see Aunt so and so's daughter-in-law's brother's band." And they were playing, at that time it was called the Rosemont Horizon. Now I think it's called the Allstate Arena. And so when they said, "Oh, we have to go see them because they're playing at this," no, that was, Horizon hadn't been built yet. It wasn't there. It was the old amphitheater. And yeah, I saw them a second time when they came into town at the Horizon. The first time I think was at the amphitheater. We were there, and I'm looking at the marquee going, okay, which band? I'm thinking, okay, it's probably the opening act. But when we got there, we also were given like those sticky backstage pass things. And my mom and my aunt are going, "What is this?" They go, "Oh, we're supposed to wait here when you arrive. We're supposed to get a hold of so-and-so." So we're standing at the box office with these tickets. And then one of the road crew comes out and says, "Oh, are you so-and-so?" And they go, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, we're supposed to you're here early on time. Thank you." And I got to go back and meet the band and get pictures taken and all that stuff, saying, "Oh my God, yeah. Oh, you are so-and-so's mother-in-law's sisters." And they're going, "Yeah. And this is their cousin." I go, "Yeah." And I'm like a tween, like 13. So I knew who this band was. My aunt and my mom and my aunt had no clue. I'm just like laughing my butt off. But they said, "Okay, since we've got technically family members here, we have to keep it clean backstage," I overheard somebody say. Well, that time they kept it clean because that was back in the early part of the 70s. Well, as time came on, I mean, that band would come into the Chicago area many times. And by that time, since my mom and my aunts had already met the boys in the band, and by the time I was 16, I had a driver's license. So whenever they came in, my mom said, "Oh, just since there's tickets there, take a couple of your friends with you, and you can go to the show because we already know the band and everything. Everything's going to be cool." Yeah, so here I am, 16 years old, with the backstage passes, going backstage to say hi. I can't say what band it is, okay? And I actually, by the time I was able to drive myself, I saw the nonsense what was going on. I saw, "Hey, don't go in there because so and so's getting." I go, "Oh yeah, the groupie is going at it," and the guys are going, "Well, for a 16-year-old, you really know what's up." I go, "Hey, I spend most of my weekends overseas with my dad, and now that I'm 16, I can go into these music venues like the Marquee Club and have a pint and not not and have lots of freedom in London." So I saw what goes on over at those clubs, so seeing this stuff backstage is no big deal. So that's why I think it's so funny that now, I guess some some woman is going after Steven Tyler. I mean, I saw what was going on backstage with different bands because of my life. I saw what goes on with the groupies, and if somebody comes in and they're a model and they're hot looking, she said she was 17 at the time. I go, "Okay. Was she 17 2 weeks from her 18th birthday?" So yeah, during the 70s and 80s, if you went backstage to see anybody with a band or an after party from a rock concert, unless you were technically a family member, any female was fair game. It's like, yeah, if you went to an after party, you had better prepared to bring your own set of raincoats. Yes, so it's like, yeah, now they're going after Steve Tyler again, and I'm just like, this chick knew if she was a model and working professionally in the modeling industry, I mean, that's just as sleazy as rock and roll. What is she looking for? Another 15 minutes of fame? So, yeah. It's just crazy. But now, let's see. What else did we see? Oh, yes. You know, the crypto guy, Sam Bankman-Fried. Well, I guess he's been convicted. And he had some cryptocurrency scam. Well, every time I see people, oh, Bitcoin or this thing or that thing, it's like you see it on all sorts of. Yes, I do have the Venmo app because if people want readings, I accept payment via Venmo, which is part of PayPal. Well, it's called, I have the opportunity of flipping that money into some cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is nothing but numbers on a computer screen. You can't feel it or touch it. I mean, right now, it's like I've got quarters because I have to do laundry. There's coin-operated machines. Cryptocurrency, basically, if the servers of that crypto company die, you lost everything. It's a crash and burn situation. So now that Sam Bankman-Fried is going to be in the pokey for basically a Ponzi scheme, I want to see how many other cryptocurrency groups also are revealed for the Ponzi scheme that they truly are. Because that's all it is. You can't hold it in your hand at all. No, okay. I saw that they're already doing the stupid fear mongering. Yeah, they're scaring people again. Okay, we just passed the autumnal equinox. Autumn has started here in the northern hemisphere. Spring has started down in the below the south of the equator. Yeah, people are going to get colds and the flu. Well, now they're trying to scare people into getting another one of the whatchamacallits. Don't do it. Basic, wash your hands when you come in, kick your shoes off. Everybody's going to get a cold this winter. Everybody does. They sniffles. Yeah, you're going to get exposed to the flu germs, but you know what? It's seasonal. Don't get your knickers in a twist. If you are feeling absolutely panicky about stuff because, yeah, I'm just kind of like, we all know what's going on in Gaza, in Israel. It's basically, I grew up watching Vietnam on TV with the casualty figures and newsreel footage, what was appropriate to be seen. I mean, I remember the Me Like massacre stuff happening. Well, yeah, so it's a repeat of what happened in the 60s and 70s. That's what's happening in Israel right now with Gaza and Hamas. So it's like, my gut feelings, my intuition is telling me the only way to end it, because my last video, I did talk about Khomeini, and Hamas got started in the 1980s when he was in charge of Iran. And that's when the Taliban started and a lot of the other Islamic cultist jihadists started, all under Ayatollah Khomeini. Yeah, the dude that Saddam Hussein kicked out of Iraq. I mean, Saddam Hussein had the right idea about Khomeini because he saw what was going on, what he was doing to Iraq. Okay, so Hussein was a tyrant, but he was going after the Islamic cult. But Bush wiped out the only guy who was standing up to this dude. Think about it, folks. Yes. So, my intuition is telling me the only way we are going to get rid of this Hamas and Hezbollah nonsense is repeat what happened to Dresden, Germany in February of 1945. Go back and look at the pictures. What did the United States and the RAF do? The Army Air Corps and RAF. That's what we got to do to those areas. Okay? Okay, something else that's funny. It's like, I guess there's news out there that Nancy Pelosi got served with a formal subpoena. She got served with something. But she's not saying what. She's being really hush-hush about it. Some saying it's pertaining to that alleged home invasion. No, I think there has been somebody got their knickers in a twist out in California. Nutsie didn't do what she had promised to do for a big-ass campaign donation. And it's coming from somebody who filed it in the circuit court located up there in San Francisco. Who else hangs out in the San Francisco area with a boatload of cash? Gordon Getty. And he's big on making campaign donations. And he's a big supporter of Gruesome Newsom. I'm getting my clairvoyant intel, Clairaudient, is Gordon gave a big donation to Nutsie in exchange for something to happen. Nutsie didn't follow through. So now it was a business deal and something was supposed to happen and Nutsie didn't make it happen. So I'm having a hunch this Mega Bucks guy has now filed suit to Nutsie. Embezzlement, fraud. It's going to come out but we're going to need somebody who can go and watch the federal court building in San Francisco, and that's when we're going to find out why Nutsie is served with a subpoena to provide documents that she wants to keep hidden. It's financial. I just got Martha Stewart, so probably like Martha got locked up for insider trading. Nancy's going to go down for insider trading also. Whoa, okay. Another thing I'm laughing about, because Nicholas Coppola, better known as Nick Cage, well, he's now spilling the beans because he worked on this movie and his part was very small. He was only on set for one day. It was a cameo. And then when he went to the premiere, they used his image via CGI AI to make his part a whole bunch bigger. And now he's calling out Hollyweird on what they just did. Well, Nick, Did you have your attorney really read the contract your talent agent arranged for you? Don't you own the copyright to your own image? That's why I don't use the YT software to film my stuff. I use a different software that I own, which means I own my own footage. I own it, not YT, not R, not Elon's, okay? Or the BC. I own my footage, not them. I control it because I read the paperwork. Nick, hey, you need to get yourself a better agent and a better attorney, because if they had read the contract, they would have made sure that you were the owner of your image, copyrighted image for that film. So everyone now, yeah, the Screen Actors Guild, that's one of the big things that they're having kitten fits with the strike. It's called every person who signs a contract to do something that's filmed for TV or movies. You've got to make sure that you own your own copyright of your image. Otherwise, you're going to get screwed. Both financially and maybe physically. Yeah, because some women, the casting couch works for everybody. Everybody can be a victim of the casting couch. So make sure you read your contracts. Okay, the next thing I picked up, okay. And, yeah, Pakistan is, okay. A lot of people to escape the Taliban sneak through the border into Pakistan. Well, now Pakistan is going out and grabbing kids off the street that are out there outside playing cricket or soccer. And the police are grabbing these kids, and the parents have to go retrieve the kids, and then they find out that they're not in Pakistan legally with the correct papers. So it's kind of like a way to get the undocumented refugees deported out of Pakistan. Well, okay, this is very not unpolitically correct. Okay, one of the words that, one of the phrases we used to laugh about when I was living in Jeddah is that, yeah, you could smell a Paki about a block away, but a Yemenite a mile away. Because these people, those guys, the only time they wash themselves completely is when they're going to be depositing their semen into a female body cavity. Okay? So you could tell by how often a guy is being able to deposit his semen into a female by the way he smells. Because they only bathe when they're going to be messing around. So, okay, Wednesday, I had to go do some errands, so I used one of the rideshare things. And my driver, I could tell that by what he was wearing and his complexion, he wasn't American. He was Middle Eastern or from the subcontinent, and he admitted, "Oh yeah, I'm from Pakistan." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fine." Oh, I'm like, "Oh," so right then and there, I make sure to, because he was he was driving the car, and he had his hand facing me, looking like this. Yeah, he was like, had his arm on the rest, and he had his middle finger to my face. So I basically said, yeah, oh, where at? And I'm like, oh, I used to live in Karachi for a while. And when he did that, he kind of did a double take, looking at me like, what's with this woman? Well, he did put his hand down, and he was like, he had to take a call, and I understood what he was saying. I go, well, what does she want you to do? Sign a check for something? And he's like, oh my gosh, she understands. So then he put his hand down, and he was real nice. Yeah, women, be careful. When you're using a ride share, you can tell by the driver's name. You can contact your ride share company and say, I prefer to have someone who is not going to possibly be hostile towards my religious belief. And the rideshare company has to switch drivers. If you say that, if it's a safety concern. Yes, I did some digging. If you have questions like that, there's this guy who has a channel called Rideshare Professor. Look at it, shoot him an email. He can answer it for you. Okay? But then on the other hand, yesterday I went grocery shopping and I had a lot of heavy stuff. And the guy that I got, I'm like, difficult time pronouncing his name. Well, it was funny. I said, I go, I know this is a little, how exactly do you pronounce your name? Because it's multi-syllables and it's like kind of tough. And just like the first name they see on the Rideshare app. But he was able to pronounce my name correctly because, well, the guy was from India. And he goes, well, yeah, your first name is a UK name. And I kind of laughed. And I just said, yeah, way back when, yeah, we were at that time it was still Bombay. And we started talking, and I go, well, yeah, we're still kind of in touch with the people, the couple that was the housekeeper and my dad's driver and stuff. And he kind of laughed, and when he realized I was familiar with his culture, one of the nicest drivers on earth. Of course he got 5 stars, and I tipped him in cash. Yeah. If they're a snark, I do it on the app so they get taxed on it. If they're a nice driver and everything, I just hand them a $5 bill. So yes. Now, something that's going on that people are like questioning, and it's hitting the news, the local news down there. Okay, in Kansas City area, they have this town called Raytown, which is like a little podunk suburb of the main area. Well, people keep hearing booms. And the government is saying, oh, it's not this, it's not that. But everyone's questioning, why are we hearing these sonic... They're not a sonic boom from air traffic. But they keep hearing it. Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that in the Kansas City area, there is one of the largest network of caverns and tunnels. There's a whole underground city located in the Kansas City area. So they must be enlarging the underground city, and they're doing the booms because they are building an underground fast rail tunnel to connect to Denver. Yeah, they want the lightning speed rail system. Well, they've already got basically the tunnel system going from like the docks in Long Beach, California to through the Rocky Mountains to Denver, because okay, Long Beach, California has a big hub. Denver, Colorado is a big hub. The next big stop and hub is Kansas City. So folks, what they're doing is expanding the underground city and the fast rail system. It's going to continue. They'll have another underground city in like the Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area, and then on to the East Coast. They're just enlarging it. Now, yeah, of course, there's a lot of people have been going all over Nutside because I guess the that little troll, KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, Karen Just Poop, and the other dude, John Kirby. I guess they're in the White House press briefing room. Yeah, they're putting out this major news blast that they're upset because the mayors and representatives of all these cities that are getting the wetbacks, they're like saying, we don't want any money going to Gaza, but because we need the money to support the guys from Gaza who are now hanging out in our cities. We got to pay for them. Yeah, but Barry, you see, like I said before earlier, Barry follows Farrakhan. Barry is a member of the Black Muslim Brotherhood. Barry supports Hamas, which means the White House supports Hamas. That's why the donkeys are falling apart, because people are we've got to continue to wake people up. So, yeah, all these mayors from like Chicago and New York sent representatives to talk to the White House chiefs of staff. Well, they're not going to talk to Biden because they're going to find out that Biden's a Alzheimer patient, dementia. The guy doesn't know what he's doing. So, basically, all they're doing is tossing out word salad to pacify people. They're even now, it's like, even they're saying, oh yeah, Blinken is back in Israel for the third time. What is he secretly delivering? Is in his diplomatic luggage a ton of money, cash money, that's being filtered down and passed down to Hamas? Because we know our government right now is pro-Palestinian Hamas. Why is it? I mean, even why is it happening? Because, yeah, they are financing it. We are financing it. Because that's what Barry wants. And Barry is tight. I mean, George Soros basically bought and paid for Barry. George Soros is in the Z Guy. Z Guy idolizes Georgie Porgy and Adolf. Yeah, and it's so ironic because Zelensky and Soros are supposed to have both had a bris. But then they decided, ooh, I'm going to stick with this side of guys. And now Soros is trying to finish up what Adolf couldn't do. And that's world domination and the eradication of certain people. Yeah, so it's, yeah, Soros and Zelensky and Barry, they're like playing good donkeys, but they're not. Like I said, they want to eradicate the only halfway decent thing that FDR did, and that he made this speech about our four freedoms. And it's like speech, worship, want, and fear. Well, actually, what they're doing is they're using the flu virus to scare the poop out of people to get them under control. So if we aren't doing exactly what the donkeys and these world domination idiots want, they're just going to say it's another world stay-at-home thing. Okay? So, and now it's funny that more and more, I guess Israel used to have diplomatic business going with the island country of Bahrain. Well, now Bahrain has just kicked out the Israeli ambassador and is recalling their ambassador and is cutting ties. Doesn't surprise me. Because Bahrain is also tossing money to Hamas. Okay? And yeah, the Republican-held House of Representatives, they did pass the money to Israel only bill, but the Senate wants to tack on all this pork shit. Pork. You know, Jews don't eat pork. So they're adding pork to the Israeli bill, Jewish bill. I'm like, people, come on. You got to realize the irony of it. But yeah, it's basically they want to make sure that Z guy and Hamas gets their cut of the pie also. And it's a mess. It's everybody's having fits about it. And if you want to do something good, basically go and tell your local Democrat idiot. Call them up and bug the daylights out of them. Flood their emails. Phone calls. Go sit out in front of their local offices until peaceful protest. You can get a lawn chair, outdoor chair, sit outside of the front door of their local office. Have a cooler, have someone there 24/7 until they come out. It's easy to find out where these idiots live. You can go and sit and peacefully walk up and down in front of their home residence. And as long as you stay nice and polite and walk on the public sidewalk or the road on the edge, we can quietly make their lives miserable. Especially if we're out there 24/7, and they're going to have to pay attention then. That's what we've got to do to all these stupid Democrat politicians. Now, especially, I mean, we've got stupid Blinken going over there. But something that people forgot is that the two states that are getting really hit bad by the wetbacks, okay, they cross over, they go into Texas, and then they snake their way up north and they hit Oklahoma. Well, Greg Abbott from Texas and Kevin Stitt from Oklahoma, those two governors, they went over to Israel to find out what the real deal is. And they're checking out the realities of stuff. So basically, what they're finding out and what's happening, they're giving us the real information of what we need to do. Like right now, Abbott and Stitt are both suggesting that for the safety of the children, if the kids are going to, for lack of a better word, a parochial school, but instead of Roman Catholic, it's the people that do the Old Testament, switch the physical location. The kids don't have to wear a uniform or their yarmulke kippah, wear a baseball hat, okay? Or like a knit ski cap, guys, kids. Don't wear your skull cap, okay? Plenty of baseball hats out there, all right? I mean, pick your favorite baseball team, use a baseball hat. That's what the governors of Texas and Oklahoma are suggesting. Women, switch out, put away your your Magen David jewelry. Right now I'm wearing my big sapphire because we're used to wearing something around our neck. Yeah, I put my Magen David's put away for the time being. So I'm listening to what the governors of Texas and Oklahoma are saying to help protect myself. And it's crazy. One thing that I'm laughing about is the crazy ass weather. Well, yeah, usually we're always hearing at this time of year, we're hearing about hurricanes hitting North America and going through the Gulf of Mexico. Well, the first time in a long time, you've got a hurricane going right through the English Channel. Yes, Hurricane Kieran. It hit Great Britain and it blew through France. So the pathway for the refugees, I wonder how many boats of of alleged refugees went down in the storm. Like I've been saying, when a hurricane has been hitting, especially in the past couple of years, it's the heavens' way of protecting people. We had that big hurricane that hit Acapulco, the west coast of Mexico. Yeah, it took out the staging areas for the CCP army. And then we have Hurricane Kieran. That's basically taking out the refugees that are trying to get to the northern European countries and England. Another thing that's being hidden, and I had to find it on an international station. Let's put it this way. The Lahaina fire was a dress rehearsal. Right now, massive wildfires on the island of Oahu. Lahaina was just the dress rehearsal. Okay. Oh, something that I saw, and I got the hunt on. I saw stuff pertaining to Hunter. Instead of being called Hunter, he should be called Hunted because of his misbehavior. Piece of intel. Where are the pictures of Hunted and Rachel on the yacht? They only pull out the ones pertaining to Andy, because Andy knows all, and Andy will spill the beans. But they keep pulling out the Andy pictures to keep him embarrassed, to make him continually look like the bad guy. Where are the pictures of Hunter and Rachel? Because they are somewhere. Whoever has them needs to start getting them published. Because Hunter was playing around with the yacht girls. Yeah, we know Hunter likes little girls. Young girls. But enough chemicals introduced into a guy's body. If a woman fits the physical description, he's not going to look too much at her face. Because Rachel back then, she looked like she had no boobs. She still doesn't have any boobs. She's tiny and scrawny, like a basic pickaninny would look. So Hunter probably thought she was in her early teens. So, but there's pictures, if not video, of those two having fun. Or him having fun, and she's just like staring at the ceiling, counting how much money she's making. It's going to come out. Now, something else that's coming out soon, and I will be heading over, and I think I'll probably video me doing my purchase of that book also. Uncle Gary. You know, the one that called them Muppets and told them to shut the heck up? Uncle Gary has written his book. Of course. He's Kathy's uncle, but he's far enough away from the head honcho family so he can say what they've all been wanting to say for the past 3-4 years. Uncle Gary's doing it for him. And we know that Mike Tyndale, he can do the same thing through passive-aggressive comments. But Uncle Mike Tyndale's a little bit close because his mother-in-law is the sister of the king, whereas Gary is the mother-in-law's brother. There's a close enough to be accurate, reliable, but far enough away from the center that he can say what needs to be said. So yes, we've got everybody. It's like, instead of buying Scabies' book, let's get our pre-orders for Uncle Gary's book. Now, okay, last night before I went to sleep, I did see watch Taz, and the skirt I was talking about, Camilla's, because I couldn't at that point find any decent photos, but Taz has more contacts than I do in certain aspects. Taz did get a good upfront, up-close photo, and I guess the splotches? Her skirt was embroidered and appliqued with giraffes. Too bad that the other commentators couldn't tell that to people, what the pattern was on Camilla's skirt. But it was a beautiful skirt if you saw it up front and close. But if you were 100 yards back, it looked like she got splattered with mud. So, hey, her dresser still has to start paying attention. Now, I'm still waiting for the confirmation. Has the bill finished both houses of Parliament to strip the titles? Has it gone to Charles for his signature? We're all waiting on that. And another thing, it's like, you know, when you put your key in the doorknob to open it, you know what I'm talking about? You have to put the key into there, turn it so it does something so you can open a door. Well, that channel is throwing out more stupid clickbait. One of them is claiming that Kathy used magic on her husband's family. Well, you know what? It takes somebody who uses dark magic to recognize somebody who's using light magic, doing light work. So basically, Rachel, I'll say it, Harry's mother-in-law, she probably does some of the same kind of stuff that Marie Laveau did. Marie Laveau, New Orleans. Google it, and you'll know what I just said. But that's what I think is going on. That's why they have the chickens. Because the stuff that Marie Laveau did, you need chicken bones. Yeah, go watch some episodes of True Blood, okay? You'll kind of get it. Because that's set in Louisiana. I mean, New Orleans. Oh, yeah, and also, what was it? The James Bond movie, Live and Let Die. The one with Jane Seymour and Roger Moore. They cover the stuff that Henry's mother-in-law is tangled up with. Okay. It's like, yeah, I'm making you do some homework here. Because I have to be careful what I say. But yeah, it's like some of these places are there. The clickbait is just hysterical. Especially one is saying that Trevor's going to talk and say what a gold miner she was. And the other one is that Jen Aniston sent a message to Rach saying, "Don't you dare come near Matt's funeral." Yeah, we've got stuff happening. It's a lot of crazy stuff. But one thing that did hit me, you know, if they're so desperate for good PR and stuff, we know that Henry is back looking for a place to live. Why hasn't she contacted the producers of that TV show called House Hunters? I'm sure they would provide some cash flow for him to be on an episode here. Henry's hunting for a house. House Hunters International. Why isn't he? Is he actually filming episodes on that for that cable TV channel program? I think that's the only one that he'd be able to get booked on at this point in time is House Hunters. So, and then they can do that other once they get him into a new residence. What is the trading spaces where people redo each other's house, a room in each other's house to make it look different? Hey, there's possible more TV work out there for the gruesome twosome. Well, oh my gosh. People, thank you for listening. I'll have more stuff for you on Sunday. Have a great weekend. It's Friday. Good Shabbos. Stay safe. If you're able to, anywhere here in the United States, go put your app in this weekend for your FOID cards. Because we're all going to be needing them to protect ourselves. And have a great Friday night. Good Shabbos. Have a great Saturday. And I'll have a video up for you on Sunday. That's the 5th of November. So, bye-bye.